Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Audrey. Glad you're joining me today. I am sharing my first page with the June kit from Clique Kits, and this kit is called Aquarelle, and it is beautiful. It's full of a lot of cocoa vanilla products, the Wild at Heart collection, and a whole bunch of little bits and pieces. So I am using this piece of pattern paper for my background. This is one of the cocoa vanilla papers, and I'm just going to kind of spread some gesso around the background. My gesso is just about gone in that bottle, so I had to kind of bang it on the paper, and I'm just using a little spatula there to spread it around. And I just did a really thin coat in kind of a diagonal direction. I have an idea in mind of what I'm going to do for my page already. So I kind of wanted to spread it from the bottom left corner to the top right corner. After that dried, with a little help from a heat gun, I am using a whole bunch of different color mists here. I'm using the teal Heidi Swapp Color Shine and this peach color. Actually, I think it's called Coral. And I noticed I mixed a little bit of the orange and blue together in a few of the places, and it kind of got a little muddy brown. So I just had to go back over it a little bit with a little bit more orange, and once the original kind of mixture had dried, and went back over it a little bit more with orange. Then I'm going to take some of the teal, is that teal? Yeah, that's the teal, and sprinkle that on. And then I am grabbing two more colors, the mustard. I just thought I'd pick up a little bit of yellow. There's not too much yellow in the papers, but there's a few hints there, here and there, and so I wanted to pick up on that. And then the navy, which the navy is one of the prominent colors, I think, in this collection. So just a few splatters of those as well. I love how that came out. I like when the gesso doesn't completely cover the page, because the ink soaks into the paper differently where it is covered in gesso and where it is not covered in gesso. So I like that look. So I really love how that background came out. So I don't know what inspired me for this design. I just had this idea of cutting up a whole bunch of little squares and kind of arranging them in a loose circle pattern. So I'm going through some of the 3x4 cards, and some of the vellum that comes in the kit, and some of these 4x6 cards I'm cutting out little bits from, and some of the pattern paper. So my page today is for the theme on the Clique Kits blog called Yearbook, and Yearbook focuses on either project life or fun memories or special, everyday memories. So I decided to try to use up the 3x4 cards and the 4x6 cards in different ways than you would normally use. So I'm just taking all these little bits and kind of scattering them around. Again, like I said, in a loose circle, and my intention is to kind of put them there and then stitch over it. I also cut out one of the exclusive cut files from the kit this month that comes, I believe it comes with a subscription. I'm not sure if you can just get this in the store without a subscription. You probably can. I don't know. You'd have to go look. And I'm sure you'd find lots of other fun things while you're there. Anyway, this is kind of a floral print. It's really pretty. I just love kind of the white outline against the bright colored paper. So it has one big main flower there. Now, one of the things with this file is these flowers I'm pulling off are the insides of the cut out there. So it's hard to explain, but kind of the insides I thought were going to be a little bit more detailed, but they completely cut out. So I just put them back in kind of where they were, and they're a little skewed, but I like how that looks over the original cut where the flower shape is. But anyway, and I just took the leftover little flowers too and scattered them around as well. I really wanted to add something, and I was hesitant about adding that striped paper to the left because it is such a strong element on that page, and you'll see that I do go back and cut it down a lot, but I did want to bring some more of the navy in there because I just love this color combination with the navy and the peach and the pink and the teal. It's so pretty, so I did want to bring some more of the navy in. I'm going through the die cut pack, and you see I found a little frame there that fit perfectly behind my photo. I didn't know if I should put it on top of my photo or behind my photo, and I always cut out my photos with a white border. I print my photos at home using Photoshop, and I love the way that a white border just kind of makes the photo stand out from the rest of the page, so I always use a white border on my photos. And so I didn't know if I should put the frame over the top of the picture, which covered up the white border, or behind it, so I decided to go with behind it, so I still had a little bit of the white frame. And there are so many die cuts and pieces of ephemera in this pack, and so many I could have used on this page, and I had to kind of stop myself and say, okay, you're going a little too crazy here, and I didn't want to clutter it up too much. So you see I cut those strips down in half, and that really you know, made the design, the stripes less, well, I mean, they're still bold, but less prominent, I guess. And I toyed with the idea of putting another strip on the right and a little piece at the top to kind of make a visual triangle, but it was just too strong for the rest of the page. So just a little bit on the left I will add, you'll see towards the end here. Okay, so now that I have it all arranged exactly how I wanted, I had to go through and glue it all down. So I'm taking things off little bits at a time. And, you know, these squares here, I'm just kind of laying them down. They're going to be mostly covered up, but you'll still get a hint of them on the background and through under my photo and through the cut file. So I wasn't too concerned with the placement of these. I was, however, kind of paying attention to trying to get the colors scattered around equally, and like the vellum pieces scattered around, and you see the polka dot pieces too. So yeah, not two of the same pattern really next to each other, and a good balance, I should say. And I'm just gluing these all down with liquid glue. That one piece of vellum was driving me crazy. You can see it kept curling up, and I kept going back and sticking it down, and then it curls up again. And it's funny because when I cut the vellum, all those pieces curled, and it was very strange. I don't know why that happened. I mean, because the vellum is very thick. It's not a typical thin piece of vellum, and it's so beautiful. It has a really nice weight to it. But I love how that looks. So I decided that I wanted to emphasize the circle design more, and I went with a pencil and traced my circle template. And I have to learn my lesson that when I write with a pencil over gesso, it always smears and is very difficult to erase. So I saw somebody, and I don't remember who it was, so if it was you, please tell me. I saw somebody trace a template on a video I was watching with a white pen, and I'm like, duh, why don't I do that? Because, you know, the white would look nice, and you can still see the line, and you don't have to worry about eraser marks, and yeah, so next time I'm going to try tracing with a white pen. But I like how the circle kind of balances out, well, grounds the design, I guess I should say, and provides a kind of a base for those squares. You know, they're all inside the circle there, and then it kind of almost looks like a wreath with the cut file hanging off the bottom left edge of the stitch circle. I kind of went crazy with the stitching, but I was trying to also cover up my pencil line because it was smeared, and so I think I was successful. You don't really see the pencil line that much at all. So I'm just going to go back through and pick off some of these other white flowers and some of these other die cuts. I'm popping some off with foam dots, and others I'm kind of just tucking around to see where I want them. I actually end up taking those flowers off, those red flowers. One thing that was bothering me about these die cuts, I love them so much, and this is so nitpicky, but and I was considering, well, anyway, it's the white border, that they all have a white border, all the little, like the cutout butterflies and the cutout flowers, and I was considering going through and cutting off the white border around all of those die cuts, and maybe it was just bothering me just on this page, but yeah, and I ended up leaving it because I don't know, I just didn't feel like spending that much time fussy cutting all those things out, but I do get rid of the red flowers, and I leave the butterflies as is. So I put that tag over there, and I generally don't like having a tag kind of hanging without it being anchored to something else. because I don't want it to look like it's just kind of hanging in space and not part of the design. But I think since it's on the circle, on the stitch circle, and kind of some of the flower bits overlap it, that it was okay, and it doesn't look like it's hanging there by itself in outer space. And I did put a few embellishments on it. You see I cut a really thin strip of that stripe paper to kind of tie in with the stripe on the left, and I think to help ground it a little bit more. If it was just the plain tag there, it kind of does look like it's kind of floating there without, you know, being anchored to anything. So embellishing it definitely helped make it part of the design more. Earlier, I had put a piece of foam behind my photo to pop it up off the page, and the little like banner phrases I have on the photo are also popped off with pop dots. There's a lot of layers, a lot of 3D layers on top of layers here with my foam dots and craft foam. And this page came together so quickly, and it was probably because I had the design set in my head, and I knew exactly what I was going to do when I sat down to do it. And it kind of helps that it worked out the way I had planned, because that doesn't always happen. But anyway, let me just tell you about this page quick. So this was Mother's Day 2016 last year, and I was with my parents, and somehow we woke up, everybody said Happy Mother's Day, and we were having a great morning, and somebody said I'm hungry, and my mom and I just started cooking, and then all of a sudden we kind of stopped and looked at each other like, we're like, wait, what are we doing? It's Mother's Day. Shouldn't somebody be cooking for us? But we had a good time cooking together, and we were kind of laughing and joking. We may have had a mimosa or two. So it was still us always just being mothers. So that's the title of my page, Always Mothers. Even on Mother's Day, still gotta be a mother. But I love these copper letters, and I start putting them here above the tag, and I didn't think they were going to fit, so I put them underneath the tag, which I didn't really like them under the tag there. So I realized that they are going to fit, and I take my ruler, you'll see here in a second, and kind of measure it up and say, is that going to fit up there? Yep, it is. So I move them back up. And these letters, they're super thin. They're kind of like a puffy alpha, and they have that copper finish on them, and they're really pretty, but they were not very sticky at all. So I had to go back with my fine line glue and stick them down because, yeah, they just didn't stay very well. I was having I really wanted to put that little tag on there what this says. I can't remember, something about being happy, and I didn't know where to put it, if I should put it on top of my photo or underneath my photo, and the dilemmas. But so I'm pretty happy with how this came out. Like I said, it came together pretty quickly. I kind of just like the scattered, haphazard squares in the background with this circle, and the colors are just so beautiful. Such pretty color. Perfect for a Mother's Day photo, I thought. And that was one of the first things that came to mind when I saw this kit. Like, ooh, I need to do a picture that's kind of girly. And then I knew it was going to be mid-May that I was going to be doing a page, and I thought, hey, maybe something with Mother's Day. So there is my finished page, and I did, add my journaling and a little part of the handwritten title. And I did add a couple other little copper elements from another collection, just a little piece of washi tape and another little copper sticker to kind of bring in some more copper. So thank you so much for watching. Glad to be back, and stay tuned for a lot more videos with the June kit. Thanks. See you soon. Stay scrappy, friends.